Good afternoon, Highbury Squad community. No, you're not hearing things. It is not Sophie's versus Brokered. It's Albert JTV doing guest host duty on the Highbury Squad and also live on Albert JTV. Nothing like a quiet Saturday afternoon with the Arsenal. But before we get into it, people, with my amazing special guest, let's smash the Highbury Squad intro.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Oh, Highbury Squad community, we can breathe. We've got an amazing guest. Been meaning to collaborate with this fantastic young gentleman for a long time. FWA Student Football Writer of the Year in 2024, an upcoming journalist for The Guardian. Welcome, people, on his Highbury Squad debut and Albert JTV debut, Morgan Ofori, people. Morgan, welcome to the Highbury Squad, my friend. Mute.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
No, welcome. Yeah. People in the chat, please show your love for Morgan. Been meaning to collaborate with you for quite a while, man. But I was thinking, actually, no, let me give you a proper intro to Highbury Squad now, but JTV. There you have it, people. Welcome aboard, man. Listen, I haven't got you for long, but no, listen. Firstly, before we get into this, the result that's just happened at Mansfield Stadium in the FA Cup, because what a game, by the way. Just give the squad his introduction to yourself and where you are sort of on your journalistic journey, my friend.
I write really about sports and social, sport in its social intersections, social affairs intersections, about race, but also about like kind of what is going on off the pitch while games are going on. So yeah, that's a lot of my sort of journalism, but also I'm interested in sort of like news and just like other sort of political kind of threads as well around football, but also in different areas as well. So yeah, I've been doing that for various outlets, but yeah, I work with The Guardian on the Long Wave, which is like their global diaspora newsletter.
Oh, okay.
Also did quite a few things with them on sport as well. And then like I do some work with The Observer, do some work with Hyphen, which is like that chronicles like life for Muslims in the UK. So like just different bits and pieces, but mostly just sort of journalist. But a lot of my stuff you would have read would be like around football. So
no, big up to Morgan. Of course, people, I forgot the most important fact to say about Morgan. He's a fellow Gooner as well. I thought I'd get some brownie points in there, but listen,
I wouldn't be here if I wasn't, man.
No, I hear you. Listen, I was thinking it's great to obviously collaborate and get you on, but I was thinking it might be, with respectfully to Mansfield, it might be an easier game to talk about after on a Saturday afternoon, but it turned out to be far from that, man. But let me give a big shout out to people in the chat. People, thank you for joining in. Smash the like button on the way in. Hopefully, Sophie will get a chance to put this on the audio as well, so you'll hear me and Morgan's amazing dulcet tones talking about Arsenal. So no, let's get into it, man. Listen, we've got through 2-1. Let's sort of start at the beginning, really, before we sort of delve into the game. 9 changes to the team lineup. I just want to ask you about one particular change, really, because I was on an Arsenal podcast on Thursday, I think it was. We spoke about whether Kai Havertz would start. I would have played him in today's game. I wouldn't necessarily have started him. What was your thoughts generally about what I've asked you in terms of Kai Havertz and also the team lineup going into today?
Yeah, I think, it's really tough because obviously we're in like 4 competitions, so like still like and that's, I think, in my Arsenal supporting life, that's just the latest we've been in 4 competitions with a chance of winning every single one of them. Like we're the favourites in pretty much all of them, apart from maybe the Carabao Cup final. That's kind of like a touch and go, whatever the lineups are on the day, fit and available lineups are on the day.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of doing a balancing act, really, whoever's fit, whoever needs the minutes needs to kind of play. So I wasn't surprised to see Kai Havertz start, to be honest, but
Okay.
And because obviously, like, we kind of everyone has their kind of they have their opinion on Gyökeres, but like it's obvious that it's obvious that like he's playing a role for us that is required, and he needs to be kind of in a weird way wrapped up in cotton wool a bit. So it made sense that Jesus came in, Havertz came in midfield to kind of beef it up, because obviously you got the young boys in there. Well, you got the young boy in there, Dowman in there, and Norgard is, even though he's experienced, seems to lack the bit of the physicality. So it kind of made sense to have Havertz in there as well. So yeah, I understand it. I think he needs the minutes. I think he's also another one that needs to be kind of protected fitness wise. But yeah, we'll see what we'll sort of see. We've seen that he was important for us today, and yeah, I understand it. And I think to be fair, we got him off in time before they got like really upset and like start kicking off players and that. So because it felt like, these kind of teams, it's like you kind of have to kind of get the result and get out of there, because like, what's like a lovely big day with all the with all the money spinning kind of, and then they're really happy to have you there. That can dissipate really quickly once they know they're not getting a result, right? So yeah, I think it was a good balancing act. But obviously, you'll probably talk about like Trossard and Keller having to come off as well. So
yeah, no, good. No, I just want to get your thoughts on that really, but it's funny because I don't know if you're in any WhatsApp group chats. I'm in a couple of Arsenal ones. It's just forever. It's just forever moaning and complaining. There's always something, even before a ball's kicked. I'm thinking, but you wanted rotation for the game today. You've got rotation in more ways than one, and you're still complaining. But anyway, that's another subject to have that. But listen, I think after watching I saw watching the first 15-20 minutes to get your thoughts. I put down some notes, and I think the first thing I put was, after the first 15-20 was welcome to FA Cup football for Arsenal. The pitch wasn't obviously ideal from a couple of pictures I see people putting it out there who went to the game today. Big up to the Arsenal fans that went. But yeah, that first 15 was a massive wake-up call for the players that started that game. They was going to be physical. They started really, really well. They caused us all sorts of problems. Now, it sounds an easy question to ask you.
Yeah.
Was you expecting what you saw in the first 15-20? Or is there things you thought Arsenal could have done a little bit better to negate their sort of attacking threats?
Do you know what it is with like cup competitions, but especially the FA Cup? I always think like Arsenal won that seven times. He won that, and that was and for me that was because he just had a reliance on like quality, like technical quality. And I think sometimes with these kind of games, your technical quality is what bails you out. Like they all the teams, if you play especially lower league sides, they always level it out with the physicality they have, and they make it a slog. So unfortunately for us, now we're kind of more of a team that's based on dueling and like physical and like being physical and stuff. So it's kind of like you really then are reliant on like your technical quality. Like look at both goals we scored, like Madueke and EZE, just like curlers, right?
Bangers,
and that's just like because they're ballers, so they just smash the ball in. But like I think for us, I knew it would be a tough one because even though obviously Arteta got the FA Cup in his first season and stuff, it's one of those things we kind of struggled a little bit to really make the last step, kind of like in the cup competitions, right? So it's like I think it's one of those ones where you just kind of go in there, you get the result, and you sort of come out of it. But I was definitely expecting Mansfield to give us a game. I know it sounds crazy because it's Mansfield and it's like they're at the bottom.
They're struggling.
Yeah, they're near the bottom of League One. But I think it's one of those ones where, like, even with Portsmouth, it was they kind of had a little bit at the start, and then the quality just told, right? Like, so I think that's what it is, man. I think that's what it is. But I can't lie. Like, there were some players today. I'll be honest, like. I don't like digging players out. But
don't worry. The Highbury Squad chat, they're on job, man. Don't worry about that, man. because they put, you know, with because this is I've got this screening on my channel live as well as I'm on the Highbury Squad, my fantastic the fantastic hosted channel. She's 8 hours behind it so it's like whatever time the morning in California. But Sophie, she'll be doing some grading in the background when you see the show go out. But now some of the guys put comments in the chats towards the end of the game when it's not even finished yet. So I saw some of the chats already, but so we'll touch on Arsenal. And obviously you get to see it from a very different kind of perspective, as well as not just as a fan, but in terms of the job, what you do. I was watching that first half in particular. I don't know if the chat's going to agree as well, but I don't know what it is. I watch us play, and I think we're one of the poorest teams in the league when it comes to transition. I think we're really, really poor. I saw a couple of incidents in that first half, especially irrespective of personnel, by the way. This is not on a particular player, but when I watch other teams play and transition and attack the opposing team's defenses, there's streets ahead of us. Do you agree with that? Or when you've watched Arsenal play this season, what do you think's been the glaring obvious things for you in terms of our attacking play in the final third? What they could be doing better? What do you see?
No, I think you're like spot on. I think we've always had really great, well rehearsed patterns of play that like that front. Like we've always from the start, like we've always been well drilled with that and sort of playing through the thirds a certain way. But I think like when for the amount of high turnovers we get, like the amount of times we press people into like uncompromising situations, we don't capitalize enough. And I always thought that was like, just like, oh, we didn't, maybe our real source of pace was like a Martinelli or whatever. So that's kind of a bit tough to kind of just like make that sort of thing count. But I think it's like just like a real sort of lack of technical quality, like on the moment you're meant to do it. So I always think of that's like really good at that in our team. And to be fair, I'm not sure he plays. He's only started to play a bit more like recently, for whatever reason. And that's Eze. Like I think in transition, because of who he was, like because of like where he was at Palace, and they played on transition. They had Mateta sort of running ahead of him, Munoz on the right wing, like, and he had all this pace in front of him. He just has a good final pass in general, or a good final end product in general. Yeah, he's really good at that. But I feel like if you're talking about even, I know he's not played for us for a while, but he's been injured and he's got a while to come back. But older guy like that, sometimes even him, like even if he can't make the sort of end product tell, and it's I don't know, it's a strange one. But I think you're right. I think transition wise, it's not that they lack technical quality, but there is a specific type of like composure you need to make it count in transition because it's going so quick. I think Saka's still quite good at doing that. Yeah.
No, well said. Yeah, it just really bothers me when I watch us play, man. Like I do content on my channel. I do watch alongs for some of the games on my channel and another good friend of mine's. And I've said it this season so many times. Like there's some games this season I'm glad I haven't done a watch along to watch Arsenal, because I'm kind of, I would say pulling my hair out, but I've hardly got any hair, to be honest. To pull out. But Arsenal are very frustrating. But sort of going back towards like today's game, and I'll sort of come at different points in terms of how you feel Arsenal done this season. But and people, if you've got any questions for Morgan, then please tap them in. I'll star them and I'll push them at the end if I've got time. We obviously, I think what would have helped today, we had a very, very early chance in the 3rd minute with Max Dowman. If that goes in, then Mansfield's game plan completely goes out the window. Yeah. But having said that, how the game worked out for the course of the match, it kind of really didn't make a difference because they just kept coming. And we had 1 minute of quality, obviously, with the goal from Madueke, which I thought was key for us going 1-0 up just before halftime. What do you think?
Yeah. Do you know what it is as well? From like, I agree with you, but you know, a few weeks, not even a few weeks ago, this week, when obviously Herzl was talking like rubbish in the press conference. like you're talking all this rubbish in the press conference and stuff, and then obviously they asked Mikel like, "Oh, what is it about the modern game that's making these things?" But like Mansfield didn't care. I think Mansfield, if we're being honest, they didn't really do a low block. They were pressing us, like they were doing it. They were going man to man, really, and it was like, and it was quite. And I think it was getting quite tough for our teams. Like I'm used to us like we're playing a really good side, and then we're having to kind of kick it between the centre backs and then make Kepa the extra man. Or normally it's Raya, but today it was Kepa that was extra man, and we were still having to do that today. So that tells me that Mansfield actually watched our games, and they were actually and they were actually implementing what other teams have done to make it a closer run thing. And we found it hard, especially when before because I think we started with a back three. It looked like kind of thing.
It did. I couldn't work. But when I saw the setup, we did. Yeah.
So when it was that, it seemed like we were really struggling to play through them. Like it wasn't easy. And even though Max was getting a few chances, and I can't remember who else, Madueke seemed to get a few as well. It was actually quite tough, I think. So I don't know. I think the way we play, it does make games like whatever level the opposition is, it does make games kind of closer run things. And I know it's so mad to say it like that because we played Mansfield. But like I think there are sort of tactical quirks these days that make games a bit closer. But I don't know. Maybe on another day, as you say, like Dowman slots away like a couple of the chances he had, and then it's like 2-3-0. They can't keep their shape. They have to chase it, and then they leave gaps. We exploit that and smash them. But that didn't happen today. So I can only look at what transpired. Do you know what I'm saying? So
no, well said. I just want to quickly talk about Max Dowman actually. A lot's made of, I don't know, a lot's made of Arsenal's their play and their ability to break teams down, and we talk about creativity week in, week out across the whole YouTube platform and whatever you see on social media. You probably see it all the time. And the guys in the chat, they're verified today and in other live streams of the Highbury Squad on my channel. One thing about Max Dowman, obviously he's very young. There were times he gave the ball away today. Of course he's going to give the ball away. What, he's 15, 16? But one thing with him is he's fearless. He'll get kicked, he'll get up, he'll keep on going. He's that creative, bright spark, which has not been coached out of him yet because he's obviously still very, very young. And you know how football's evolved and changed, where you almost feel like a lot of, Sophie uses this term a lot, who runs his channel, a lot of the creativity, the popcorn football's gone out of football, in the sense that everything's so coached out of creative players. People talk about the Jack Grealish effect at City and many other examples. But Max Dowman, I think we've got him back at a really, really key time, Morgan, because before the Chelsea game, I think it's 7 or 8 games in 21 days. And he's a bit different in terms of our attacking element than anything we probably got at the club. But how do you think he did today? And how do you think he did today? And what do you make of him? Sorry.
I mean, it's just an elite. He's an elite talent. Like, obviously, like, I know a lot of people. Like, I know a couple of scouts and people that are in like youth football, especially like on the Chelsea side, and they're saying he's probably the best of his talent. He's definitely the best talent of his age in England. That's what I've been told. Wow. And probably second or first in Europe. It's between him and the other person they mentioned was Leonard Carl at Bayern.
Okay, good shout.
But and this is just from what people say to me. I don't even like. I watch him and think really, really incredible talent. But people that have been in youth football and like coaching just rate him really highly. So yeah, I'm not surprised he's starting a FA Cup match for us at such a young tender age. Yeah, man, he's a proper talent, And it's funny what you say about the popcorn football.
Sophie uses that term a lot on here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's like I watched him and I was just like, you and Marley, like you play like Wenger. Like it's like what Wenger would want in a player, in that you're not funneling it down the wings. You're all trying to go central. You're trying to Dowman had it on the left.
Yeah.
He tried a crossfield ball. It didn't work out. He actually got intercepted. But I'm like,
yeah,
that this is like no Arteta trained player or Arteta trained player is putting it through the middle, like across the pitch, to gamble for the space on the other side. And it's just kind of like his brain is working at a different sort of on a different plane. But yeah, I hope even if we have him in the first team and we kind of have to coach some of those elements out of him, that whatever player we actually then produce still has that kind of magic, because it's so rare to see. And we've seen it with a couple of seasons ago with Yamal. Like,
yes, Lamine, right?
When someone's good, you just have to. They just there, aren't they? So yeah, but I agree with this comment. Like, I think
he'll learn that.
He's gonna learn that. Yeah, you have to. You're not gonna get into the Arsenal team if you don't know that side of it. So I think it's one of those ones where we play someone in in the lower ebbs of like League One, and it's like that's an opportunity for him to shine and show what he can do. You can't expect him to have it all, but physically he can handle it. And I think we'll see him a few times, because we're kind of short on especially players that are playing in the midfield. Like, when is Odegaard back? We don't really. It's kind of unclear.
Marino's out for time as well. Yeah,
Marino's out. Marino might be out for the season if we're like.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Hopefully not, but he's really important. EZE obviously came on today, but we're having to wrap him in cotton wool now because Odegaard's out and Havertz is not quite there as well. So it's like, yeah. So we'll probably see a fair bit of him. So he's going to be raw. But I don't know about you. Like, at 16, I wasn't starting for Arsenal in like matches. Like, I wasn't. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm definitely doing that, Morgan. Trust me.
Like, that's top, man. He's a brilliant talent. Hopefully,
do you know what I think it is? You know what I think it is, Morgan? I think if you've watched Arsenal, any Arsenal fan in the chat, because this chat, there's not people just based in the UK with the Highbury Squad. There's people in Australia. There's people everywhere. People, give us an inner chat. Give us a chat where you are. But when you watch Arsenal play this season, I guess sometimes it's just refreshing to see a player play the way he plays, particularly in this Arsenal side, knowing who the manager is. So, but of course, the manager picked him. But you're right with that comment that I put up a minute ago. Look, he's going to learn that. There's times he plays as if we playing football. He's younger, the carefree, taking on 3 or 4 players. He'll learn very quickly, depending on whose manager's going to be or how long Mikel's going to be here for, when to release the ball, when to make the right decision in the final third, when to take the shot on. And even Lucy Ward mentioned it on commentary in terms of like physicality wise. She said he actually looks a bit, even though he's been out for quite a while, Morgan, he looks like he can take care of himself in that side of it, because he's going to develop and get stronger and get bigger. So, like I said, I think we've got him back at a key moment. I think there's games in the Premier League, definitely, Morgan, coming back to you again, really. The 2 famous words we hear as football fans and Arsenal fans: low blocks. So we're going to need players like him in the last 15-20 minutes of Premier League. We've got obviously Leverkusen twice. We've got the Everton game's been moved to the day before Mother's Day. And then, God, I have to think of the Premier League games now. But yeah, Dowman, I think.
West Ham. It'll be Everton. I'm gonna say Bournemouth soon as well.
Bournemouth, we've got. I think Bournemouth is more. I think is that the first or second week of April? I've missed out a game. I don't know. I'll have a check, but I'll see what it is. But listen, Morgan. Yeah. We've got quite. This is going to be a big month, man. Go on.
Yeah, so it's Everton. And then it's like, obviously, that's sandwiched between Leverkusen. Then it's obviously the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah.
And then international break. Then the next Prem game we have is Bournemouth, which is in late April. So we only got one more Prem game.
No, we'll say. I'll have a quick look at the fixtures. Big up to Highbury Squad in the chat box of your own channel. So, Sophie, I've got no idea what time it is, but love to you, man. And big up to the chat. The chat are behaving so far. So, I don't know. You have to do some moderating on your own channel, if that makes sense. If you're still awake, half awake anyway. But listen, we went in 1-0. I thought we definitely controlled the game. Definitely sort of coming out for the second half. But listen, you make mistakes in football and it happens. Now, I don't know what your thoughts were. This is my thoughts looking back at the goal we conceded to make it 1-1. Yes, it wasn't a great pass by Salmon. But for me, Mosquera, you got a 50-50. You've got to just crunch him. Because he hesitated. Then he pulled back. The guy's got a good 2-3 yards on him. Gets a shot off, makes it 1-1. And then the game's changed. The complexion of the game has changed completely. Salmon's a young guy, he's 16, I believe he is. Do you agree with my take in terms of the goal, or do you see it a bit differently? We conceded.
I think, to be honest with you, I think the pitch was really slow as well. like obviously this wasn't, and that's fine. That happens when you're at a certain level, right? Like it's just you just have to accept that pitch is going to be a certain way. And so there was never going to be enough on that back pass from Marley. And to be honest with you, like Arsenal always said, like when you put a player in that young, you've got to expect that they're going to make the mistake, right? So I understand that, but yeah, I think it was a bit weak from Mosquera, man.
Yeah, he's got a clatter him. I'm sorry.
Also, he's like, it's weird because he's so good. So I was so confused.
He was off it today.
Sometimes he has that, like where I always think when there's not one of the senior guys next to him, Gabriel or Saliba, he does have a game like this in him. Like he can kind of like look a bit shaky when he doesn't have Saliba or Gabriel, which is understandable. But and it's also what happened. I can't remember whether it was Villa or Chelsea. Was it Villa or Chelsea that it was him and a similar level. It was like him and Hincapié at centre back, I think.
Oh God, I think so. Oh God, I have to remember that one.
I think it might be Villa. And they just kind of played on that. They played on that and made him look quite shaky. And yeah, I think you just gotta deal with it, man. Especially the sort of player he is. He's very like stop at source. He's that type of, but he doesn't let things develop. So it's just strange that he didn't let that. But you know, like I'm not gonna complain because he's been great for what we got him for and all those things. So you just gotta hope that.
Yeah, he's been. Listen, put it this way: he's been more consistent than him having nightmares or poor performances in Arsenal shirt. But he was a little bit off it today. But people in the chat smashing that. Yeah, go on, brother.
I wouldn't quite put him at like Mustafi. So do you know what I mean? Like it's at least he's, you know, like, I'm so traumatized by like centre backs at Arsenal. I'm just like, as long as you're not kicking it in your own net or like getting pushed over, so the forward can run through. Like I'm happy with that. You don't feel like that was the case. So you know.
No, well said. People, smash the likes if you haven't already. Tammy, I know you're doing your thing. Highbury Squad is close to 20k people, 20k subscribers. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, smash the like, not just on Highbury Squad, but on Albert JTV as well. But listen, that game changed, man. Goals change games, and they're right. And it 1-1. And as you kind of mentioned about 5-10 minutes ago, they showed us, if they did show us any respect, I don't think they showed a lot of it, to be honest, because they gave us some problems, man. They really did. And they had chances. We had chances. I know at one point, I think definitely about 5-10 minutes after the goal, Arteta was furious on the touchline because they just did not wrestle. They made it so uncomfortable for Arsenal for the entirety of the match. I'm not saying we shouldn't have expected it because we should have done.
No, definitely.
You know, a one-off game away from home. You can talk about the pitch till the cows come home. But they made Arsenal look really uncomfortable, and obviously he made some changes, bringing on obviously EZE, and he brought on Saka came on as well. But listen, again, another moment of quality which you highlighted, and EZE gets us out of the mire with a fantastic strike. and we go 2-1. But I'll be honest with you, Morgan, I don't know what your thoughts were. Even though we went 2-1, I was still highly uncomfortable with that game for the remainder of the 15, 20 minutes afterwards. What was your thought?
No, you've I think you touched on it. Like, I just think if this isn't like a serious team, if we're not a serious team, and it's like it's back in our banter era, I think Bradford happens, but we didn't allow it to happen. Do you get what I'm saying? We kind of just made sure that we're professional. We played it. We stopped playing around with it in our half, and we just kind of played in the areas they didn't want. And then, and when it's a game like that, when you're uncomfortable, when teams make you feel uncomfortable, you just got to make sure that the ball is more so where they don't want it to be. And then we kind of like latched onto it, and EZE just kind of gets us out the mind, as you said. But I think it's a weird one. Do you know what's hard? I think I remember us like being able to pass teams to death. And even whatever was the case, we just used to have 11 guys on the pitch that would be able to just like keep it, hold it, pass, boom, 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 boom. And then the opposition will be demoralized and have nothing to come back to. But it's like now, because we're more of a duel inside, sometimes it's quite hard to stay composed and to deliver a comfortable victory. I've seen us do it maybe twice this year. I saw us do it when we went to Everton in the league. It felt like, okay, we'll just keep it kind of going. And you know what kind of maybe made it worse? Two of our more technical players that are capable of doing that went off. So Trossard is capable of doing it. Calafiori is capable of doing that. Odegaard wasn't in there as well. So then you're just kind of having more players that are, in a way, better off the ball than on it.
Yeah. So
it's like harder to keep it. All you really have that secure the security there is EZE and Saka. And so I understand it just makes it more transitional. And then obviously I don't like this. I don't want to dig out Martinelli, but like there was a few times where he had opportunities, and if he tucks a few away, it's just a different game, right? But he just has those moments sometimes where it's like technically he's inconsistent. So sometimes he delivers something crazy. It's the same with Madueke. Sometimes he delivers something mad. Like Madueke obviously delivers something.
It's very up and down with him.
It's up and down. Like Madueke had that Perla he scored to equal to what's ahead.
Yeah.
Then like later in the game, one shot was in a car park. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you even?
Now you make a good point.
How do you even like?
Yeah. Now you make a good point, because obviously I think when he scored, he had another chance not too long afterwards. I remember Lucy Ward saying on commentary that this is what you kind of get with him. He scores a banger, then the next 2 minutes later he skews one wide into row 7 or 8 or 9, wherever it was, where he hit the shot. But you get that.
It was a throw in.
That's why
it wasn't even a goal kick. It was a throw in.
Yeah. It's I think it's a conversation we're definitely gonna have revisit another time, because it's, although Arsenal are where they are at this point in the season, going forward through 4 different competitions. And I mean, the mad thing is we scored 100 goals in all competitions. I think it's in 46 games. I think it is 19 different scorers. So you think to yourself, if you look at a stat from a stat point of view, that's good. But actually, when you watch Arsenal in game, it's probably very different to what you see. And I think I'll come to you actually about Mikel. Because Sophie's mentioned this a lot, and I'm going to get the banner on the screen at some point as well. Because let's be honest, since he's been here, and I'm talking about particularly the last 3 seasons, we've played some better football under this manager, and you could question with maybe the squad that wasn't as good, maybe as this squad this season. Possibly, you can argue here or there about certain particular players. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on Mikel, because obviously this is the first time I've got to collab with you. There's a lot of discourse about him at different points since he's been the manager, and can he get us over the line, and how he conducts himself on the touch line, and some of the substitutions he makes, and from your, not just from your lens as a fan, but also with the type of job you do in terms of being a journalist. What have you made of Mika over the last couple of years? Because I think there's been mental scars from the 2 seasons before, not getting over the line, playing better football. And Sophie makes this point. I'm going to get it up on screen, where you sort of let me see if I can find it. There it is. Go on, Soph. Points versus performance. So just your thoughts on Mikel, where you see him in terms of maybe getting us over the line, and what you've seen in the last 3 years.
So that's a big question, because
yeah,
you know, it's hard with Mikel for me to not encompass everything, because I'll start from I'll go from the start. I think what we always forget is that he came in when he came in just that season, COVID happens, which I'm yet to see something that's changed football more than since COVID. Yeah, so there were some clubs that didn't know whether they were going to get any money. Like, we didn't know, like, there was all this stuff going on, right? We didn't know all. We had no fans for a couple of years. Some would say that maybe saved his job, actually, but so he was looking okay. He was doing what he needed to do. And then he moved from head coach to manager. He was alongside, and when you think about it, everyone that was alongside him at exec level, at the start, seems to have gone. Like, so, you know, Edu, if I hear it, has just lost, potentially has lost his job at Forest.
Forest, yeah, from what I heard the last few days, yeah.
Vinay's at Tottenham. Raul Sanlehi, who was still here, is now something to do with Inter Miami. So there's always been some sort of like upheaval above him, and what I like about Mikel is that he's good at managing upwards and downwards. So he's quite the all encompassing like manager in a traditional sense. We won the FA Cup. Everyone loves that. That was a good day out for us, even though no one was in the stadium. But it was like a good for us, right? So that was good. We get to like that period was a pretty dark period up to December 2020, where he lost all those. Just went on a really bad losing run, and signed Willian. That didn't work. And then obviously he puts in Smith Rowe, Saka, and others, and you know, we get back into it, and he kind of like rejigs it, and then, you know, we have a couple of seasons where we're kind of going in the right direction. And so I think he always sort of saw, I think his elite
mindset
ability. Yeah, his elite ability is to coach a defensive, like coach. Yeah, he's an elite defensive coach. I think he's one of the best we've had for ages. There's no way that you go through a season, and we had our first 10 games, or I think we had half of them was like teams that didn't have a shot on target. So it's like, that's crazy in this day and age. Like, and obviously people were even talking about Chelsea's record and stuff, like, and obviously that's not going to happen now because we've conceded more. So I think he has kind of lent into what he's elite at. I think we've done very good. We've done a really good job kind of making sure our attackers worked and all that stuff happened. In the season that in 22-23, when it was kind of not expected for us to really challenge. Like, we weren't expected to challenge. We expected maybe a top four, like get into top four, and then we'll see what we do. But we basically almost won the league that year. So I think that more than any other season has scrambled a lot of people's brains. And I think that was a lot of it. A lot of that was timing. Like, it's people gonna think I'm crazy, but if the Queen doesn't pass away, and Arsenal actually play City at that time,
Yeah.
Who's to say that we don't beat them when we're red hot? Jesus goes to the World Cup when he probably shouldn't, has an injury. He doesn't come back right.
Not the same
All
player.
these things, all these things sort of happen. Like, but what I admire about him is that he seems to know what the next tactical vogue is. Like he's always near or at the forefront of what the next thing tactically is in vogue. And so what I think exactly, everything is timing for me. So it's like
it's transfers, everything.
Yeah. So I think for him now, he is clicking. It's clicking. And another thing for me is like, and people are gonna think I'm being blasphemous here, but at the end of the day, when he bought rice for me, that for me was basically he's gone out and got his Roy Keane, and we've not been lucky enough to kind of capitalize on that. But I think he has his generals now. Like Saliba is obviously top, but Mascara can step in when needed. Obviously today was a bit of a different one, but he's normally one. Yeah, Gabriel, great, can step in. We got a few like 5 or 6 players there that they're just ready. It's not even about the manager now. They're just ready. Like we want this.
Our core players,
our core players are ready now, and they're gonna deliver it, regardless of the manager, right? So I think now we're kind of in that mode. But I think in the past few years we've really just been fighting against teams that either were having their last sort of ebbs of success or at their absolute peak. The City team we lost to in 22-23 when it won the treble.
Yeah.
And
don't remind us.
No, 115 charges, but they went and won the treble. Yeah. Liverpool last season, Van Dijk had a ridiculous season, and so did Mohamed Salah.
Salah, crazy.
Those guys had those, and Alisson was really good as well. And those guys are really, if you think about it, they're top 3 Liverpool players in that position in their history. Yeah, like in each position, you have Van Dijk in your top 3 for this Liverpool centre backs. Alisson's probably is their best if you're, or Guardiola, depends who you want to say. Clemens there.
Good shout.
Yeah, Salah, obviously we know what he is. So for me now, we have the generational team. Now Rice is definitely one of the most impressive players I've seen in our midfield since we had Patrick. Saka is one of our best attackers since TT and Dennis. Like he just is. And Saliba, exactly. And Saliba and Gabby, if we're they maybe get into the team 98 team, maybe. Like it depends. It depends.
A conversation to be had.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like at least these are conversations we're having, yeah. And these guys are all getting to their peak. So, and they all signed in on Arteta. Like if they didn't believe in the manager, why are they all signing 5-year deals? Like Saka signed it, Saliba signed it, Gabriel signed it. Rice, we'll see. Maybe he's waiting to win it before he does it. Timbers looks like he wants to sign. These are all top players that they get into any other team in the league, and they probably get into most teams in Europe, give or take a few. So that tells me that they're in it for Arteta. So I am definitely one of these people that I look at him and I'm like, you could have done that better, 100%. Like you could have done this better, you could have done this better, but he's even a step ahead of it to this time around, because who knew that the Premier League was going to become this events based and transition based and physicality based. It's like really, really hugely reliant on physicality and dueling. And what does Arteta love? Physicality, dueling, physicality, duels, making it count in when you get the opportunity, and it's serving us right. We've obviously, it's disappointing every time we trip up like the United game or Wolves, but that doesn't mean
Morgan, just to cut in there. So I'm going to bring you back in quickly. Sorry, because you touched on the Wolves and the Wolves and the Man United game. This is 3 points Sophie brings up consistently, and it's right, because I'm going to bring you back in, because I've banged on about we've got a group of players, or a core group of players, that have played together for the last 2 or 3 years. You know, amongst probably some coming in recently. But I think the one thing that's questioned about Arsenal within our fan base, by the way, and me as a content creator and a fan of the club, is we had the couple of seasons where we didn't make Champions League. They should feel the pain from that. You know, going for, I don't class last season, that wasn't a title race for us anyway. The 2 seasons before that, yeah. But I understand why people question the mentality of probably some of the group of players at Arsenal when you got the results and the performance against Liverpool at home, United at home, the poor performance against Wolves away. Where do you sit with the mentality thing with Arsenal?
No, I'll be honest with you, like a couple of times I've looked at it and like, you guys are scared. You're scared to make that last leap. But
yeah,
I wasn't around when Fergie won his Man United's first first title in '93.
I was. I was okay. Just shout my age now, Morgan. Yeah,
sorry, mate. Sorry. But okay, thinking about that, yeah, he's got what? He lost it because I'm a football historian, so I do remember. I know that he lost it to Leeds the year before, in '92. Arsenal won it the year before that, and Liverpool won it in 1990. And he had been like he'd only won that solitary FA Cup. It's a very similar situation to what Arteta's in now. And they were struggling to make that last step. And they kind of had
trouble back in the day. Yeah, you're right.
He was in trouble. And for me, Arteta's showing a very similar sort of thing where it's like we're there. It's just that it's always really hard to win your first. And I think when we win that first title, you're gonna see a different team. Like but I think even when even when we won it back in what was it called? No, sorry, when we were going for it like in 2008 or 2011, like you could see that team didn't have it. Like you can see they didn't have it, but it's like they were just sort of going. Do you know what I mean? But like this one, you can see like we're going through it, which we're really, really almost there. It's like you need that. You need to kind of sort of be there in and around it, and then finally make that leap. And then when you make that leap, you there's less pressure on you. You can continuously go, because obviously right now a lot of it's even outside noise. Like rival fans don't want us to win. Like, come on, like they don't. Like,
you're right. Now, you listen, Morgan. That's the thing that's been a running theme. Look, people in the chat, you know how old I am. I'm 21 plus VAT. I remember life before Wenger, so that's a giveaway, right? So, you're right, Morgan. You made the good point. Like, I always said, this group of Arsenal players don't have a reference point for winning trophies. So you've got an opportunity. First opportunity. Let me be clear. Is the cup final against City. But then you're right, like until we get over the line, the noise of the rival fans, whether it be mainstream media or the certain shows I've been on where I've been goaded as a guest, if I'm going to be honest with you, radio or whatever, because they know what they're doing. But it's the bottom line is we need to get over the line, because you know the thing is, Morgan, and you know this only too well, the narrative always changes. It's ever consistently changing when it comes to Arsenal. You know, certain players can't be called, i.e., world class because they haven't played in the Champions League. Playing in the Champions League, oh yeah, but you got to win it. Oh yeah, we win it, but you got to win it twice, back to back. So it's always forever changing. But no, that's why I want to get you for. It's great to get you on. But people in the chat, big up to you, man. Smash the like button, like I said. I've not got Morgan for much longer. So listen, we've managed to get through today. Just about that was a great. Someone put in the chat, it was actually a great game of football to watch. Proper FA Cup tie. You know, this competition's taken a lot of flack in recent years, but when you get games like that, the competition's still alive. But we're still going strong on all four fronts. Unfortunately, we had 2 injuries today, Morgan. Unfortunately, hopefully Trossard is not too serious, and again, hopefully Calafiore is not too serious. Listen, we've got Leverkusen coming up Wednesday. And obviously we've got a league game squeeze in between that as well, Everton. So what's your thoughts about this? I call it March Madness we're going to go through, man. Got some big games of football. How you feeling, man? How's your mood? as a fan?
Yeah, I mean, it's what you support, it's what you want, isn't it? Like, I think we for so long just weren't serious competitors. We were really an underachieving side for the resources we had, right? I won't go too far as a quadruple, but fair enough.
Yeah.
You go off. People need to. Yeah.
Big up San Antonio. I think he's in Australia, my friend, I believe he is. So what are they 11 hours ahead, I think, or behind, I can't remember.
Hello, my friend. Yeah, no, honestly, like I think you just take it as it comes. I think game by game, we are playing Leverkusen, who I think they sacked Ten Hag at the start, wasn't it? Was it the start of the season they sacked
very
Ten
early,
Hag?
very early in.
Yeah, so like now I can't remember who it is that took over. But it seems like they've stabilized a bit. They're playing right now actually, and they're drawing with Freiburg. So they got Kasper Hjulmand, who I'm not sure. I remember who that is, but he seems to have stabilized them. But listen, like this is the first time in my Arsenal supporting life, I don't know about you, that we're odds-on favourites in 2 or 3 of the competitions that we're in. Like, I don't remember that being the case. Maybe that might have happened in 04, but I'm not sure. I think, maybe not. Yeah. So
possibly.
You know what I'm saying? So we kind of need to guard against, like, it's not all going to be rosy. We got to guard against. I remember being heartbroken watching Wayne Bridge score at Highbury.
03-04,
unexpected stuff, like, and you got to kind of guard against, what's going to happen. Like, there's going to be certain games where football just does its thing. You get footballed and you don't make it. But we are odds on to go and win the league. So I would like, if hopefully we can do all we need to do to get that, and then we'll see what we got afterwards. Does hurt me that we weren't the first London team to win the Champions League, because
that does burn. It does. Does.
And it's 20 years since Paris. It's 20 years since Paris. So, fingers crossed we make it to Budapest, and we'll see. But I'm one of these where it's like, we got a legacy. We got the FA Cup legacy. We got it's 20 years since Paris. We're top of the league. Just do it. Keep going game by game. Keep people fit, and we'll see where we land. But I think it's gonna sound weird, but when Mourinho got injured, it really broke my heart, because he's like our clutch player. I feel like when we need
a lot of people said that. Yeah, a lot of people said
that's the guy that we need on the pitch, and it's kind of made me feel a bit worse for wear on the cup competitions. I think the league will probably get that over the line. We wobble over the line. That's what I think is gonna happen. We're gonna wobble over the line, but I think in the cup competitions that might hurt us, like not having enough of the clutch guys in there. I mean, EZE showed a little bit who he is, but we do need. I feel someone that's kind of like, when it counts, we're gonna stand up there. Well, let's see. If we're celebrating the quad at the end of the season, I'm not complaining, man.
I think the issue with winning multiple trophies is, one, you need a bit of luck, obviously, but I think the main thing is, I think what Mikel needs to do better, and this is not just a knee-jerk thing, is I think there's times in terms of the Premier League, definitely you could have relied on some of your playing squad and given them much more minutes than what he has done. But I can see the Premier League trophy in the distance. I can't put one hand on it yet. That's how I feel. I've always thought the away game at City months ago, even Morgan, I thought, if the league carries on the way it's carrying on in terms of the results you're seeing, it will come down to that game. But I think the cup final, not just to win it and get a trophy, I think just to break Man City's resolve is massive, and that's a mental thing. But people, Morgan, I don't want to keep you much longer. What's your thoughts about the game on Wednesday?
With Leverkusen.
Yes, away. 4:45 kickoff people UK time.
Yeah, look, I think we sort of are well versed going away. and spoiling everyone's evening.
We've been better in it. We've been better in the Champions League.
Yeah, I just think we're really good. We're just a really good away side as well. Like when you go away from home, you need to really make sure that your dueling is on point, your distances are good, and you've got enough pace up top to kind of hurt teams. And we seem to really do that great on a really good level away from home. So I think kind of make sure, because we are now christened already. It's really annoying because we haven't won the trophies to back it up, but we've been christened already like kings of everything. So everyone sees it as their day to ruin us, like when we come and visit or when they play us. So it's more about surviving what people are going to throw at you, and then composing ourselves, and then imposing our quality. And I think we'll be able to do that, especially in Europe, because I think we've got a really good game plan that it's really tough to play us. And yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out on Wednesday. But was it Tuesday? I remember is it?
It's definitely Wednesday, yeah, because I'm off work that day, so I definitely know.
Wednesday. Yeah, you're right. So we'll see how it goes. And Leverkusen, obviously, since they won the league, aren't quite Leverkusen who they were. They did beat, as Zachary said, they did beat Arsenal. So, sorry, Arsenal. They haven't beat Arsenal at all. Hopefully not. They beat City. Yeah, they beat City. So that's not going to be an easy game. But I do think we are like, I think our the most dangerous, the most danger to Arsenal this season in Europe is an English team. I just think that's been going back for years in Champions League. I don't know what it is with English teams. Like, just think about what our best ever team went out to, like, an English. The team that should have won the Champions League went out to an English team. They went out to Chelsea. Like, they went out to Wayne Bridges, Chelsea, and even the one in 08.
Morgan, it's funny. Our record against English teams in Champions League is really poor.
Yeah,
we lost to Liverpool, Chelsea, and United.
Yeah, exactly. Every time we look like we're gonna go and do it, it's an English team that does it. So that's why I'm kind of like, relax, because in 08 we beat Milan, who were reigning champions, and then Liverpool went to Anfield, and then don't
remind me.
Sorry, man. At least we didn't play anyone. English, so we'll see. What would be quite funny is if Spurs get relegated, but they but we played them in the Champions League. That'd be quite. That would shred my nerves, man. That would shred my nerves, honestly.
But people, we have come to an end of post-match on Highbury Squad and Albert JTV. I want to give a massive round of applause for the squaddies in the chat. Big up to you wherever you are in the world. I want you to give a massive round of applause for our amazing guest we had on, Morgan. It's been a time to get you on, but it was fantastic to get you on, my friend. And you need to get the round of applause.
That's for you as well, though. That's for you as well.
No. So what's happening next for you in terms of any interviews, any pods, any written pieces you're going to be doing?
I've been working on this piece on people may or may not know of this footballer who played for West Ham a few decades ago. His name was Clyde Best. Yes. So Clyde Best, it has a documentary coming out about his playing career. He was obviously one of the first black players to play for West Ham. He predates the 3 degrees, like Cyril and Batson and all that.
A long time ago.
He's came in the late 60s, time of just lots of racial tension and stuff. So he's got a documentary coming out. So I interviewed him this week. So I've got a written piece coming out with the Observer soon. So on that, but anyone that's in London, his documentary is showing at Sadler's Wells East. And then that's later on this month, 25th of March. So that's on for a week, I think. So I think it'd be good. It'd be a good evening. Go and watch that. It's lots of things. He came from Bermuda. encountered lots of stuff. Played a big part in launching the game in the US as well. So there's lots there. One great anecdote from it was that he said that George Best called him, said that it was really hard to play him at Upton Park. That he was the king of Upton Park rather than, yeah. So yeah, there's a few little bits there. Yeah.
No, thank you, man. People, follow Morgan on X at Morgan K Ofori and on Instagram Morgan.Ofori_. I had to say the spelling, people, because obviously we got on an audio platform as well, so I can't visualize it. But people, follow Morgan and his fantastic work, and he made a fantastic debut on the Highbury Squad now with JTV. But we'll definitely get you back. Yeah, no, of course, man, 100%. Obviously, you're a fellow gooner, so it helps. It makes it a lot easier as well. But people, I don't know what you're doing the rest of your Saturday, but Jordan Morgan's got a life and I've got a life, and if I can find the outro, that might help as well. It is here somewhere. Sophie, where have you got it? There it is. People, we are into the quarterfinals at the FA Cup, round of 16. Leverkusen away Wednesday. Premier League game in between that with Everton before Mother's Day, and the games are coming thick and fast. People, you've got to show up to the party to win these big trophies. So hopefully, we'll be celebrating something or a few things in May. But over and out for post-game show. Highbury Squad people. Squaddies, love, over and out.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.